It finally happened! China's $300 billion project that will change the world. China will be in charge of one of the world's greatest infrastructure projects. In today's video, we'll be discussing China's $300 billion project that will change the world. The competition between Chinese firms for the Canal Century project costs $300 billion in order to foster additional growth in the shipping industry worldwide. Since the turn of the century, there has been a growth in the quantity of commerce, communication, and transportation that occurs between countries all over the world when compared to the use of roads, railways, and air transportation. The main advantage of sea transport is that it can hold a large amount of cargo at a low cost. According to current estimates, the canal accounts for the transportation of between 85 and 90% of all goods in the world. The Panama Canal and the Suez Canal are two of the most well-known sea canal building projects in the world today. The United States built a canal in Panama that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Seas, known as the Panama Canal, and serves as a route. It is possible for freighters to avoid circumnavigating South America. The British and French collaborate to build the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean Sea and the Indian Ocean. As a result, they cannot meet the transportation needs of huge or exceptionally massive freighters. Because so many freighters have little options, the transportation cycle must be extended proportionately. To meet the expanding demand for shipping, a broader canal route is urgently needed, and this requirement applies equally to Nicaragua and the rest of the world. In truth, preparations for the construction of the Nicaragua Canal have been ongoing for 2 centuries. However, the canal has not yet been completed. Let us first examine the current situation in Nicaragua, a Central American country. Nicaragua is roughly located in Central America's geographic center, with coasts on both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean on each side of the country. It is regarded as one of the world's poorest countries. They are all dependent on one another. The traditional technique of earning money is through the import and export of agricultural and animal husbandry products. Its industrial level lags substantially behind that of other countries. Also, the country's economic growth is quite modest. The Suez Canal has the potential to generate about $4.8 billion in annual revenue for Egypt, or more than 2% of Egypt's annual GDP. Panama has risen to become one of the wealthiest countries in Central America in just 10 years, mainly due to the completion of the Panama Canal. As a result, Nicaragua intends to capitalize on the country's favorable geographic location by excavating a canal in order to improve the nation's economic standing. It is anticipated that once the canal is finished, it will be able to bring a minimum annual revenue of at least $5.5 billion and will bring nearly 200,000 jobs to the people who live in the area during the construction of the canal. Someone had the concept of building a canal in Nicaragua in the 19th century, and it was seriously considered at the time. Calculations important to the canal's design at the time had been made by the designers who participated in its creation. If products must be transported from New York to Japan because huge cargo ships cannot travel through the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal, the entire length of the detour will be more than 24,000 kilometers and will take 36 days. If the Nicaraguan Canal were to be opened, the total distance and time required to complete the tour would be decreased by 17,000 kilometers and 11 days respectively. The first stone for the Nicaragua Canal was placed in 1883 when construction began. People were fascinated in finding gold at the time, and huge gold reserves were discovered in the state of California. As a result, it was necessary to pave the way for gold to be transported via waterways. As a result, the United States and Nicaragua broke away when each had their own needs, and the United States was given the authority to build Nicaragua's first canal. The official signing of the collaboration agreement occurred in 1884. However, after the American personnel carried out the on-site surveys in Nicaragua, they decided not to cooperate with the Nicaraguan government and instead focused their efforts on digging the Panama Canal. As a result, the first plan for the excavation of the Nicaragua Canal was abandoned. After that, numerous nations expressed interest in carrying out this project, but none of them were able to reach a consensus regarding the excavation. Following that, Russia dispatched a letter of intent regarding this undertaking. At that time, the two nations got together for a summit meeting where they signed a pact to work together on the construction of the Nicaragua Canal. At the time, the overall capital cost of the project was estimated to be $20 billion, with a 12-year construction period. However, with Russia's entrance, it was concluded that $20 billion would not be enough for research on the real site. Furthermore, the building itself was rather difficult to construct, and there was little profit to doing so. As a result, Russia abandoned the idea, and a number of countries came to negotiate and take ownership of the canal, but they all eventually backed down and gave up. To what extent is the digging process for a canal in Nicaragua difficult? Nicaragua is located in a particularly special corner of the planet. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are typical in this area. The United States of America gave up because of the hidden dangers posed by the volcanoes in this area. Furthermore, Lake Nicaragua has a tremendous impact on the economy of the surrounding area as well as the indigenous people's way of life. This is where water for irrigation and home consumption is obtained. Furthermore, the native ecological resources in this part of Nicaragua are of extraordinary grade. Furthermore, this location is home to a number of species that are highly rare and cannot be found elsewhere. Furthermore, the canal connects to a sizable chunk of the Caribbean Sea's coral reefs, which is spectacular. The area has not only been declared as a marine reserve for sea animals, but it has also been put to the United Nations list of World Heritage Sites. Finally, the challenge in terms of financial commitment to the project is as follows. Because Nicaragua is such a poor country, it cannot afford such a significant investment. Furthermore, the canal's construction will have an influence on the farmland and residences of the people who live along the route, and the issue of moving employees and giving proper compensation is also essential. Therefore, as a result of the harsh environment, geographical location, and enormous investment required, the Nicaragua Canal has become a project that no one is willing to attempt to undertake. Despite this, Nicaragua was required to construct the canal in order to advance in its development. Nicaragua eventually located Chinese infrastructure, hired a company team, and upped the project estimate. Finally, the HKN Group, led by Chinese investor Wang Jing, founded the Nicaragua Grand Canal Development Company in Hong Kong to build the canal and secure the right to manage it for 100 years. This was done in order for them to get the right to operate the canal. According to a British media outlet, when Chinese infrastructure corporations were successful in securing the right to develop the project, it will be one of the largest infrastructure projects anywhere in the globe. Furthermore, the project's completion is not yet achieved, but it was expected to be completed in 2020. This is owing to the fact that China encountered a number of external hurdles as it prepared to begin building. The United States of America is concerned that the country's maritime interests may be jeopardized. The United States of America was in charge of the excavation and construction of the Panama Canal, as well as its maintenance and operation, as previously stated. All of Central America's canals can be compared to the Nicaragua Canal and the Panama Canal, both of which are currently under development. If the Nicaragua Canal is completed, there will surely be heightened levels of competition. Furthermore, because the Panama Canal has a monopoly in the Central American market, there will be shipping difficulties. In addition to being swayed by the opinion of the general public, a large number of environmentalists, one after the other, demonstrated against the project in the surrounding area. Due to the unstable political and economic climate in Nicaragua in 2018, the project was put on hold and never resumed. On the other hand, now that China and Nepal have resumed their diplomatic relations, it is possible that the project will once again be put back on them. That's all. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get more videos.